Hi scholars, so today we're completing Module 3, Lesson 16. So let's get started with our learning intention. Thoughtful mathematicians reason about and explain arithmetic patterns using units of 0 and 1 as they relate to multiplication and division. So it's a very long learning intention, but really I'm just going to be asking you to solve some facts and then identify any patterns you notice about those facts. So today's lesson is going to be really short because I'm not going to be modeling anything. I'm going to have you tell me what you notice as you solve. So let's get started. So, for example, here we have this problem. So I want you to solve all of these. Solve for the unknown, or the missing part, or the variable, right? I don't have the letter here, but I could replace all these blanks with a letter, like B, to be a variable, just to track back to our previous lessons. And then when you're done solving, I want you to notice any patterns or anything that you notice. And keep in your mind, because towards the end of the video, I'm going to tell you the pattern. Hopefully, you're right. So pause now, solve these, and keep in mind any patterns or anything that you noticed as you were solving. All right, so you should have solved already. So blank times 1 equals 6, the blank is 6. 8 times 1 is 8. 9 divided by 1 is 9. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And 3 times 1 is 3. So again, keep in mind what you noticed or any patterns you found. So we'll discuss it later. In the meantime, go ahead and solve these now. So again, solve for the unknown and think about any patterns or anything you notice as you're solving. So go ahead, pause now and think about any patterns you notice. All right, here I have 0 divided by 7 is 0. 0 divided by 5 is 0. I'm going to write 2, but really any number you've written here would have been fine because that number times 0 will give me 0. So I wrote 2, but if you wrote 8, 24, 37, 459, it would all work. 8 times 0 is 0. Right, so if you haven't noticed any patterns, I want you to go back and think about what you solved and what you noticed because I want to talk about a pattern when multiplying and dividing by 1 or 0. Okay, so the patterns in 0 and 1 are, for 1, any number times 1 or divided by 1 is always going to equal that same number. So for example, 1 times 5 is 5, and 5 divided by 1 is 5. This is true for any number. 7 times 1 is 7. 7 divided by 1 is 7. It stays the same for even 13. 13 times 1 is 13. 13 divided by 1 is 13. So any number multiplied or divided by 1 equals itself. For 0, it's a little similar. When I multiply by 0 or divide by 0, well, divide 0 by any number, sorry, the answer is always 0. 5 times 0 is 0. 0 divided by 5 is 0. And the same for anything. 16 times 0 is 0. 0 divided by 16 equals 0. So when I multiply, when 0 is multiplied or divided by another number, the answer is always 0. The one thing that's different is you cannot divide a number by 0. So I can do 0 divided by 5 is 0, but I can't do the opposite, 5 divided by 0. So I know we always use our related facts, right? 1 times 5 is 5, 5 times 1 is 5, 1 times 5 is, 1 divided by 5 is 5. Sorry, 5 divided by 1 is 5, and I can say the same is true, 5 divided by 5 equals 1. But I can't do that for 0. Because 0 divided by 5 is 0, I can't say that 5 divided by 0 equals 0. That's not true. If you try in a calculator to do 5 divided by 0, or any number divided by 0, you're going to get an error because I can't divide something by nothing, right? 0 represents no value, right? It's a place value holder, like in the number 10. The zeros representing there are no ones. I can't divide a number by 0, but I can divide 0 by another number, and I will always get 0 as my answer. So just something to keep in mind. So to recap, anything multiplied or divided by 1 is always going to be that same number, and whenever I multiply or divide 0, I'm always going to get 0. right? Like I said, today's video is very short. In the problem set today, you're going to be solving problems where you have to multiply and or divide by 1 and 0. Enjoy, guys. Have a great day.